Is Mark Anthony. I'm co-founder of EverSmart City. EverSmart City is a mixed-use, in real life, smart community built with shipping containers to provide affordable housing, powered by renewable energy, and has sustainable agriculture and is integrated fully with the blockchain in a bunch of different ways. If this is your first time seeing one of our videos, be sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe because we have a bunch of videos that we've already recorded talking all about EverSmart City. So you want to learn anything about EverSmart City, our goals, our missions, our passions, and our visions, check out our past videos as well as turn on the notification bell because we're dropping videos all the time and you can get fresh alerts on every video that we drop. And if you like getting in on conversations about renewable energy, container homes, smart cities, smart homes, blockchain, crypto, or anything of that, or containers, or just like talking, sharing articles, jump in our Discord, introduce yourselves, share some articles. We love learning new stuff and we love meeting new people and we love to collaborate in partnerships. So if we're always looking for ways to learn new things and create new partnerships and collaborations with people. So be sure to jump in the Discord. And if you ever guys have any questions, drop questions in the Discord because we come back here to YouTube and address these questions right here on YouTube Live. And today we're actually going to be addressing one of the questions from the Discord, and it was a question: how do you build sustainable communities or smart cities in a desert? And we're very fortunate to be in Phoenix, Arizona, which is in the Sonoran Desert and right next to the Mojave Desert. So we have a lot of really good examples of how cities have been made in the desert. We have Maricopa County, Phoenix, which is a massive city, to be kind of a shining exemplar. And we've taken a lot of um, case uses from things that are done around this city, around Maricopa County, around Arizona, and things that have been done in other parts of the world and implementing them all in EverSmart City. So, some of the ways somebody could build a sustainable community in a desert, you can come from a few different angles. First way, in a desert, we all know desert is full of sun. So what better way to create sustainable developments by using sustainable or renewable energy? So of course, you can use solar in the desert to create electricity. So that's one thing that we're going to be doing on the mass scale is powering our communities with more than enough electricity than should be needed based on state, regional, and national averages of electricity consumption per household or per capita, and taking those averages and going above and beyond that. What we're going to also be doing, there's different types of solar panels. There's even solar panels that can almost act as dehumidifiers and absorb whatever humidity is in the air and turn it into gray water, sometimes potable water, depending on the filtration system that you build into the system. But most definitely, gray water, and that can be used for things that are non potable, non drinking, like washing hands or used in a laundry machine or used to used in your garden hose if you're watering your lawn, or even washing your car, or even in our farmers market and in our community garden. We're going to be using that as one of the sources for the ways that we water our plants, using whatever humidity. Arizona does have what's called a monsoon season, which is a wet season in the summer. We typically get flash floods and thunderstorms, rainstorms. One of the things that we can do is Arizona typically has a extremely low average rainfall per inch per year compared to national averages. National averages, somewhere around 48 inches a year. Arizona can sometimes be around 9 inches a year, and that 9 inches comes during all the monsoon season in the summertime, typically August, sometimes September, sometimes July, but typically August. And almost all the water, all the rain comes from that time of year. The rest of the year typically maybe rains three, four, maybe five times throughout the whole year. So, what are some ways for sustainable communities to builds a community in an environment like that in a desert. So there's a lot of, we've all heard of rain barrels or rainwater barrels that catch rainwater. Um, that's one thing that we can do. But then there's also, we can design our roads in our community to have storm drains, and those storm drains can take up all that water, especially when it flash floods. Sometimes when it flash floods, it's a real flood, feet of water at times. Like I said, we get 9 feet of water in Arizona throughout the year, and majority of that is in the summertime all at once. And what normally happens during monsoon season is that water just dumps out into the desert, dumps out into parking lots, and by noon the next day, it evaporates and it's gone. Well, it's back into the water cycle, right? What we can do is we can have storm drains and design our roads in a specific way where we are the water channels to these storm drains. And once it's in the storm drain, we can capture the water, we can filter it, we can boil it, we can filter it, we can clean it, we can purify it, and we can reuse that water for, again, things like our sustainable agriculture, our community garden. We can water some of our plants with it. We can use it um, as some of the water for our in our community bathrooms for the hand washing sinks or the toilets. Another way is obviously using a lot of public bathrooms that we see in big event centers or public community centers is flushless toilets, right? Or um, those big sinks that use very, very, very little water. So just really being really smart about the appliances that we use, especially when it comes to laundry machines and dishwashers. The average laundry machine uses about 40 gallons of water per load, right? So, and every time that you use those laundry water, it's filled with chemicals. Same with toilet water, it's filled with toilet waste. And that water there is called black water because it's contaminated. Another thing we can do is really try to repurify this contaminated water, this black water. And there's systems out there where some filter it through dirt, right? And let the dirt just filter it naturally, almost like a compost pile. And then from there, you can boil it down, boil out any other dangerous bacterias, and then filter it down through very special filters um, that essentially break down the water down to 1 micron absolute, and getting down the water filtration system to as clean as it can. Now, it still won't be safe for potable. It might be, but let's just say on the safe side, it's not safe to have potable drinking water. So it still may be used for gray water. So it's still something that could be then reused, say laundry machine water and sink water, toilet water can be reused as long as it's boiled down, purified, filtered. Um, Sometimes, depending on the level of contamination, it might take 2 or 3 purification cycles, filtration cycles. But it can get to a point where then it's gray water. Maybe not potable water where you can drink it, but gray water to the point where you can wash your car with it in your driveway. You can reuse it in your toilets. Um, Washing clothes, maybe not. Washing dishes, maybe not. But washing your car outside in the driveway and letting that water go back into the storm drain and continue to reuse water. One of the biggest ways that deserts have trouble is the water source. It's a desert. So finding ways to recycle, reuse, and repurify water. Imagine using the same gallon of water 1, 2, 3, 4 times through using it in a smarter way. We'll also have, like I mentioned, sustainable agriculture. We'll have all these natural plant life that are local to the habitat to create shade. Um, that's very important in a desert because deserts get very hot. So the more shade that we create, as well as the solar panels, we can raise these solar panels and have large coverings over different parts of the community, walkways, parks, bench areas to create shade. And what that can do is, one, they can be the solar panels that take the humidity out of the air, and it can use that that humidity and turn it right into misters. Really, really water conservative misters to spray mist to help keep people cool, but also all this shade from the natural plant life that is local to the habitat in the solar panels will lower the temperature, meaning less people have to use electricity for air conditioning, and less air conditioning means less energy use, so that saves more of our solar energy. And using and saving more of that solar energy means that we can reuse that solar in other places like filtering water or growing plants, growing fruits and vegetables. Another thing that we can do with the natural plant life throughout the community is we can create what's called living walls, where a lot of times you'll see grapes. They grow in vines, and the vines will grow up a fence or a lattice wall. We can do a lot of different things with natural plants um, to help create shade, as well as the plants. They capture the CO2, so they help filter the air from any CO2. Say, we're near busy areas with cars and traffic, we're in the city. We can start to purify our air through all this plant life because it sucks in all that CO2. So it can help us there. And as well, we're going to have chicken coops so we can have eggs on a daily basis. We don't have to necessarily have a huge farm or a grocery store. We can start to get a lot of our produce and our food from either one, the our sustainable agriculture, our community gardens, but as well as the natural plant life that we're growing. Aloe is big here. Have beehives. There's a lot of cactus honey in Arizona. A lot of our honey comes from cactus. Bees pollinate the cactuses, so we can have really fresh honey. Honey can be used for all kinds of things, healing open wounds, in your tea, if you got a cold, things like that. And as well as we can have some livestock like goats, maybe something not as big as cattle where there's a huge methane output from its manure, but something like a goat where we can still get fresh milk. Um, and just have fresh milk, and they don't take as much space as cows. They don't eat as much as cows. So between chickens, bees, goats, we can and the community garden, we can begin to provide our own food, being sustainable that way, reusing all the water as much as we can, recycling, reusing, and refiltering, as well as sustainable energy using solar. One of the most plentiful resources in the desert, which is sun, and using that and capitalizing on it are some of the different ways that you can build sustainable communities in a desert. Again, guys, if you love talking about this stuff, join our Discord, jump in on the conversation, and introduce yourselves. And as well, if you want to grab one of the first NFTs ever backed by Smart City, grab one of our Founders Keys NFTs. The link is below, and we'll see you guys in the Discord.